Hi everyone, my name is Kayla Vertner and I am going to be a graduating senior from Miami in the Mechanical Engineering Technology department. Today I chose to do a solar cooker as my term project. A little background, we were asked to satisfy a question or interest we had about the environment and its impacts, right? So I started with our first set of notes, and one of the bold points from that was that we were all solar powered. The sun supplies the plants with so they can photosynthesize to make that glucose and fuel the plant eaters and so on and so forth up the pyramid. Food for me right now is a huge topic in my life because I have started changing the way I look at it from being a delicious meal every time I eat to being more of fuel. We talked about how food is fuel, right? That glucose fuels all of us. So I thought, well, everybody has to eat. So why not look into something more sustainable? In the cooking department, normally we would use some sort of gas or coal or electricity to power our ovens, but why not look into something more renewable like solar, water, or wind? So that's where I sent my project. I went looking at some research on solar cookers that are already out there. The GoSun is a great one because it's small and compact. It makes portions suitable for about 2 people. And it makes a vacuum seal in that center tube. You cut up a bunch of veggies and you know uh, potatoes and things like that. Put it in the tube, it seals, and then you cook it for hours. It can get up to around 500 degrees in there, and costs around maybe $280 from what I saw. So that's kind of nice, however, not good for a big family. Then I saw that there was a parabolic cooker. You see that in the bottom left corner there. It focuses the sun rays into the bottom and sides of the pan, and they said online that you could fry things in that. Um, Looks kind of cool. It said it did splatter, so watch if there's kids around if you got to stir things. However, it is huge, so it's definitely, you want to do some research if you're interested in that. But the other two on the right here were more of interest to me because they looked like something I can make at home. So you have the box cooker and the panel cooker. The panel cooker is just aluminum sheet metal. It's very reflective. They said that it's really good for hot summer days or in tropic areas where there is a lot of sun, and they can get up to around maybe 250 degrees on a bad day, 400 degrees on a good day. And it was only around $120. So that actually seems like a pretty good deal to me in the summertime. However, the box cooker was something I thought, hey, I've probably got stuff around the house that I could make with that. And I like things that are free, right? If I already have it, then I don't have to pay anything to make it. So I kind of used the research I found on that to make and fuel my project. So I made sure that this was going to be a good project and kind of savings. So I looked up how much it would cost to run a 2400 watt oven for about 2 hours, and I came to the conclusion with the link on the bottom here that it's about $210 a year. Everybody's fueled by money, so that doesn't seem like a whole lot. However, the oven itself is about 1500 to replace, and the amount of fossil fuels that the electricity or gas companies use to supply those to your home would be a huge impact because the sun is free. So going more with a solar cooker than using those fossil fueled companies would be a great impact, right? So my goal for this project was to capture the sun, absorb it, keep it in a contained area, and have a constant heat supply so I can cook that food. So I started off with some supplies I had around the house, right? I had some reflective insulation that I found. I wish I could have used something more sustainable like wool or cotton as insulation. However, I had this laying around and luckily it was reflective. So I think you could do it with some different insulation and maybe some aluminum foil. I did read online the aluminum foil does kind of wear out after a couple of days, so it oxidizes. Be careful with that. But I just got a cardboard box, some duct tape, some flexible wires so you could adjust the flaps to capture the sun at all angles. You could also tilt the box. a box knife to cut everything, and then a glass bowl and plate to secure an enclosed area and to hold those rays that come in. On my test days, however, I did not have any sun. So I have a friend who has a herb garden, a hydroponic herb garden at home, and he let me borrow his light. However, the light he had was only about 4,000 lumens, and I looked online, the sun is about 10,000 lumens per square foot. So I was only using maybe 25% of what the sun would give to my solar cooker, and unfortunately I did fail. My temperature coming out of the fridge was about 37 degrees, and my final temperature was about 66 degrees, or ambient temperature. So I think I have some other ideas for my solar cooker 2.0, which I do plan to use this summer, just because I'm really interested in this now. I've done some research on it. The cost for me was, maybe if I looked up some of these items, was about $50 to make, so that's kind of cheap. However, the fuel was $0 to use, so that's super cool, right? Those household items, again, don't cost you anything if you got some of that stuff laying around. And I think that moving forward, and from some of the research, I found that this is going to work if I had those test days with some sun. So I think in the future it would be great for something like camping, because you could pack things in the box, great space saver, and then you get your oven out and you're able to make your food there on the campsite. It's reusable. The free source, right? The sun, absolutely free. It's always up in the sky. However, I did notice that out of all the research I did and some of the recipes I found, it's going to take a lot longer to cook the food. So you will have to start it earlier in the day. However, if it saves the planet and we all start working towards that goal anyway, right? Then it's going to be really beneficial. So even though my project did not work, I have a big however down at the bottom there, because I did find a great company called All Season Solar Cooker. I watched a lot of YouTube videos about a lady who lives off the grid, and this was a great solution to her cooking problem. She said she was able to cook an entire turkey in this solar oven. So for me personally, if I were to get one, I would definitely check this one out. It has that dowel rod there at the top to adjust the panels for wherever the sun's coming from. And I think it was only around maybe 200 to 300 bucks. So honestly, I'm looking into that for sustainability reasons. So definitely check them out, guys. Thanks.